This question talks about a cricket tournament in which three countries, India, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan, participated. This tournament is a 2020 match, that is, each team plays 20 overs in its innings. A few terminologies are defined. The terminologies are RR. RR is a term which is inspired from the real term, which is run rate, which is defined as which is defined for a team as uh, the total number of runs divided by the number of overs played by a team. Although in this case, RR is fixed to be the total number of runs divided by number of 20, irrespective of the number of overs played by the team. NRR is the difference in the run rate of the two teams. If a team lost the match, then its NRR will be negative. If a team won the match, then its NRR will be positive. TNRR, that is total net run rate, is the sum of all the NRR, that is net run rates of a team for the particular tournament. It is also mentioned that each team played with every other team twice. That means in all there were six matches in the tournament. Some information is also given. The information is no two teams won the same number of matches in the tournament. That is, each team won a different number of matches. The total net run rate of Sri Lanka, which scored a total of 943 runs in the tournament, was minus 6.95. That means the sum of all the net run rates, that is of all the four matches of Sri Lanka, is minus 6.95, and it scored a total of 943 runs in all the four matches. That is, the sum of the scores of all the four matches of Sri Lanka is 943. 175, 315 and 203 were the scores of some of the innings in the tournament. 15.05 was the run rate of a team in innings of a match in the tournament. That means some team had a run rate of 15.05. From 15.05 we can calculate how much that team scored in that particular match. The highest run rate of Pakistan in an inning was thrice its lowest run rate in an inning in the tournament. India and Sri Lanka scored 336 and 308 respectively in the first match played between them, and their scores were 270 and 222 in that order in the second match. Sri Lanka won exactly one match in which its net run rate was 1.75 and was against Pakistan. Pakistan, whose net run rate in one of the matches was minus 7, was the only team that scored more than 300 twice. That means Pakistan had a net run rate of minus 7 in one of its matches, and it is the only team which was successful in scoring more than 300 two times in the tournament. Okay, let's solve this. We know that the six matches will be between these will be the six matches, four matches for each team. Now for India Sri Lanka matches, we have the score. India scored 336, Sri Lanka scored 308, India scored 270 and Sri Lanka scored 222. Now we are also given one more thing. Sri Lanka won exactly one match, that was against Pakistan, and its net run rate in that match was 1.75. I'll round off those teams who won the match. In this case, India won. In this case, India won. In one match, Sri Lanka won against Pakistan, and score of Sri Lanka was the net run rate of Sri Lanka was 1.75. That means 1.75 into 20, which is 35, was the extra score scored by Sri Lanka. So if Pakistan scored X in that match, Sri Lanka scored X plus 35 in that match. Fine. Now let's solve further. We know that in this match we can calculate the net run rate of Sri Lanka. Instead of calculating the run rate of India and Sri Lanka differently and then calculating their difference, what we can do is that we can directly take the difference of their scores and divide it by 20. So difference of scores is 28. 28 when divided by 20 will be 1.4. So for India, the run rate is positive 1.4. For Sri Lanka, the run rate is minus 1.4. Similarly, in this match, the run rate for India will be positive 2.4. The run rate for Sri Lanka is minus 2.4. Now let's see. In one of the matches, the run rate net run rate of Sri Lanka was minus 1.4. In Other match it was minus 2.4. Against in one of the matches against Pakistan, it is 1.75. Let's say in the second match against Pakistan, its net run rate is X, and I know that from statement 2 that the sum of all the net run rates, that is TNRR, total net run rate for Sri Lanka, is minus 6.95. On solving this, I can easily calculate X is equals to minus 4.9. That means Sri Lanka lost the match against Pakistan because its net run rate is negative. That means Pakistan won this match and its net run rate was minus 4.9. Minus 4.9 means this will give me the extra runs which Pakistan scored or the lesser runs which Sri Lanka scored. So let's say if in this match Sri Lanka scored Y runs, then Pakistan must have scored Y plus 98 runs. Fine. We are also given one more information statement for one of the teams scored 15. One of the teams had a run rate of 15.05 in one of its matches. That means that team must have scored 15.05 into 20, which is equal to 301 runs. Now, we know that India has already scored a 300 plus score here. Sri Lanka has already scored a 300 plus score here. That means this 301 and Pakistan is the only team which scored 300 twice. So India cannot score another 300, Sri Lanka cannot score another 300. So that means this 301 score should be scored by Pakistan in one of its matches. Now, this 301 score is not possible in the match where Sri Lanka won this match, because if Pakistan scored 301, then Sri Lanka must have scored more than 300. So this score is not possible here. This score is possible here because here Pakistan won, and it is possible in the two matches which it is playing against India. But I know that in statement 8 it is mentioned that in one of the matches the net run rate of Pakistan was minus 7. Minus 7 means minus 7 into 20, that is 140. That means Pakistan scored 140 less runs than the other team. I know that it is not against Sri Lanka in both the matches, so it must be against India, and India must have won that match. So let's say India won this match and Pakistan scored P runs in this match, so India must have scored 140 in this match. P plus 140 in this match, India must have scored 140 more than Pakistan. Fine. Now, again in this match also that 301 score is not possible, because if Pakistan must have scored 301, India must have scored more than 300, which is again not possible because India scored 300 only once. So, I have two scores which are 300s. One is 315, the other is 301. These two scores are not possible in this match and in this match. So, in these two matches, which are again Pakistan scores, in one of the matches Pakistan scored 315, in the other match Pakistan scored 301. Now in this match where Pakistan has scored either 301 or 315, Pakistan must have won this match, because if India would have won this match, India would have scored more than 300, which is again not possible. So I know Pakistan won this match. Fine. So now we have got 6 winners in 6 matches. We are yet to find out the scores of different matches. Now, the possibility of scores here is 301 oblique 315. The same possibility is here 315 or 301. Now, let's say in the Pakistan-Sri Lanka match where Pakistan scored 98 more than Sri Lanka and Pakistan won. Let's say Pakistan's score is 315. Then Sri Lanka must have scored 217 in this match, because Sri Lanka scored 98 less than that. Sri Lanka scored 217 in this match, and I know the total score of Sri Lanka is 943. That means 308 plus 222 plus 217 plus the score x plus 35 should be equal to 943. What this will give me, I can find out the value of x plus 35 as 196, or x is equals to 161. X is 161. So the possibility here is the scores of this match must have been 161 and 196, and the scores of this match must have been 315 and 217. Fine. Now what would have been the scores of these matches? Let's see. If 315 is here, then 301 should come here. Fine. How many scores I am left with? If I look at statement 3, I have to adjust a score of 175. I have to adjust a score of 203. These two scores must be adjusted. Fine. Out of these three scores, which I am yet to find out, two scores must be this. Fine. Now, okay. One more thing is given in this case. If you look at statement 5, the highest run rate of Pakistan in an innings was thrice its lowest run rate in an innings in the Pakistan. I know that the highest run rate of the Pakistan will be in the match in which it has scored maximum, and I know that the maximum score of Pakistan here is 315. I know that it cannot score more than 315 because Pakistan scored 300 only twice, and one of the scores is 301, the other is 315. So I have the highest score of Pakistan, 315. So this match must have the highest run rate of Pakistan, the lowest run rate of Pakistan, or in other words, I can say the lowest score of Pakistan will be 1/3 of this. That is 315 divided by 3 is equals to 105. So the third score should have been 105. So these three hidden scores should be 175, 203 and 105. I know that in this match P plus 114 P, the difference in the scores is 140, and I see that in none of these three scores the difference between any two scores is 140. So what I can say that my entire assumption of this 315 is wrong. That means this score 315 is not possible and this score 301 is not possible because it is not matching with my data. Now, so that means this score must be 301. If this is 301, this score must be 203. If I have found out this score as 203, I can easily calculate here by manipulating this data. This is 203. Fine. If this is 203, I can easily calculate x plus 35 as 210. 210 will be the score of Sri Lanka. Pakistan's score must be 175. My 175 also got adjusted. It is 301. It is 203. It is 315. Fine. And now I am left with a score of 105 for Pakistan. I know that the 105 score should come here only. So India must have scored 245 here. Fine. So now we have got all the scores except the score of India in the match in which it lost against Pakistan, because we do not have any clue about that score. Now let's look at the questions. Question 1. In the tournament, what was the total runs scored by Pakistan in the 4 matches put together? I know that the score of Pakistan in the 4 matches were 315, 301. Fine. In one is 175 and one is 105. If we sum up all this, we'll get 896. Option B. What was the net run rate of Sri Lanka against Pakistan in the match that it lost? We have already calculated that it is minus 4.9. Because of this score only we were able to calculate that it lost the match by 98 runs, or Pakistan must have scored 98 runs more than Sri Lanka in that particular match. Next, what was the score of India against Pakistan in the match that it won? We know that the score of India against Pakistan in the match it won was 245. Because Pakistan scored 105. So 245 is the score. Next, what was the minimum score of Pakistan in innings of a match in the tournament? We have already calculated that minimum score as 315 by 3, that is 105.